Thank you for being here, y'all. I am so excited. So today we are going to use the Lethal Cosmetics Spellcraft palette, and we're going to do columns. We're going to do one look, one eye, which I don't prefer, and another look on another eye. And so the first look, we're going to do this first column, and the second eye, we're going to do this column. But I think I want to do this one last because I think this is going to be smokier and more dark, not only because of this shade, and yes, this one is black, but because this is a gray. But if I remember correctly, it did show up gray. So I don't know, but anyway, I still think we'll do that. We'll do this one eye and that the other eye, and I'm excited to get into it. We're going to put on cake batter chapstick. We're going to prime the eye, and then we are going to come back and jump into this look. We're going to go ahead and jump into this look, and another reason I wanted to do these two columns is because if you remember from the swatch party, this is flaky, that's flaky, this is flaky, this one, and this one. And I did have trouble picking them up, and so I just wanted to see how they were going to perform. Now, once we got them on, they were beautiful. So right now we're taking Conjure, this shade right here, and we're going to put that over here. But once we got it on, it was really pretty. Oh man, a piece flaked in my eye already. Can I even get it on good? I got a piece of shadow in my eye. So that is what that one is looking like, and we're going to take it almost maybe like a third of the way over. And these shimmer shades, they are like very shiny, so I don't want one to overpower the other, but I want to get them on. And so this is what that is looking like. I'm curious of what this will look like over a black base, and I find that I say that often, and then I tend to not roll back around and do it for no particular reason other than just doing other stuff. This one is not a flaky shade. This one is Eldritch. So we're going to take this one, and this will be for look number 2. We did not tap off, and these shades, they do go on. I like the texture of this one because it is more smooth than textures like this one, and it is very pretty. And I wanted to feel like a clown when I got this because I gave Bestie Roxa, but this one, one of my official troll Ken kept saying this one is more my speed because it is just darker. And so that is what that looks like. We're going to take that a little further over. I can tell right now it's going to take me time to do these looks because of how these shimmers, not how they perform, but how they pick up and lay down. But once they're on though, like this is like super pretty, almost ethereal. This is reminding me of I Need a Nude, some of those shades from in there because of how they go on and how they perform and how shiny they are. Like look at, oh my gosh, let me do that with this first shade. Excuse me, I am sweating. So like look at these shadows though, like oh my gosh. This is beautiful. So yeah, let's go down to, now we're going to take Incantation, this shade here. And yeah, it's flaking, so let me lay it flat. Excuse me for that weird laugh. So yeah, this one, just some flakes just fell out. I am not tapping off, and you see how there's a flake right here that I need to just get it on and then smear it. And that reminds me of one of the shades in, I think it might have been Sunless Seduction, no, or Moonless Seduction, where I had to get the flake on and then smear it out, and that's what this is doing. And because for me the tacky primer, not the tacky primer, the Fenty primer is a tacky primer, like it's there and then it doesn't want to move. And so yeah, I'm just trying to smear this out. It is not wanting to go, but we're going to make it go. It's going to go. So I'm thinking for this, I will put the paint pot on top of the Fenty primer because the paint pot gives me a smooth surface. Does that still look like a chunk? Down here it's still looking like there's a chunk. And so this is what I was saying about it may take me longer to get these shadows on because of how they go on. And I remember saying during the swatch party that I was hoping that it wasn't going to be a deterrent for me. This is the brush that we had for foundation and primer. because y'all know I'm lazy with my makeup. I just want to put it on and I want it to go on. I don't want to have to put too much effort into it. And we did quite a bit to get this shade on, but it is really pretty though. But I am still wondering, like, am I always going to want to do that? But I will. I'm still seeing like a thick line. Maybe you're not. But it is really pretty. I like the smokiness of this tone. I do like that. And so now we're going to come over. You see this flake right here? That was from this when it, oh goodness. Okay, so now we're going to take Tarot. This one right, oh shoot, I forgot this one was fragile as well. When I put the brush in and it swiped, a sheet lifted up of the shadow, so I had to press it back in. Yeah, and we're not tapping off, and the same with this one. So it's there, but then I gotta, like, even just swiping it with the brush, like, it's not wanting to move much. And so I don't like putting this type of pressure on my lid. And you see all the skin, because of my puffiness, it's not, if it was a flat surface, it would just blend out. But because I have the puffiness, all it's doing is just moving my skin versus blending out the shadow. So, and I don't like putting that amount of pressure on my lids, but gotta do what we gotta do to get this on. So I do like it, but I'm just kind of like, and this is my first time using this, and so I'm not, you know, coming to any judgments or anything right now. I am just hoping that when I do use this with the paint pot, that it will just go on. Once it's on, you see I can just smooth it over, but that initial lay down, it just stays. And I do think it's because for me, the Fenty primer, say it with me, is a tacky primer. And for those of you who use your finger for makeup, that might work better. I don't know. I don't think for me using a sponge tip would make a difference. To me, it does mimic a finger application, but because, as you saw, even with the swatches for the swatch party, we used sponge tips, and wherever the shade was, that's where it was. And I still had to go back and put extra time into blending it out. And so I don't think that sponge tips would help me with the blending, the initial lay down and blending. But once we get it on and do all the things like we just did, it does go on. It's very pretty. And I do like that you can see the shifts in these shadows. They are just super shiny. And even though this looks like just one shadow and this looks like one shadow, you can see the different colors. And so it's sort of like, instead of dual chromes, it's like one multi-chrome. So, excuse me. So far we've used all Esom brushes, and we're going to take this brush and we're going to do this one right here. This is Seance, and the mattes though are nice. So I am just hoping that the next time I use this, it will not be as much work. And you guys are like, girl, it ain't even all that. I'm just lazy with my makeup. And if you've been here, you know this. And so I'm not saying that it's a bad thing the way they are. Like, it's really not, because they're beautiful. And some people will go through some stuff just for a beautiful shade. And so it's just, you know, what you're willing to do or want to do to get it on. But what I know right now is, not having put this over a paint pot yet, this is not a palette I would take with me traveling, because it takes me a while to, you know, get the shadow on and to blend it. And when I'm away, I usually don't have the luxury of time to just, you know, keep working at something. This is really pretty. This is really pretty. We're going back to, is this the brush we have for that? No, this is the brush I think we have for that, for this center shade. And so we're just going to pull that over just a little bit. I will say also, to my eye down here in the mirror where I'm looking now, it looks like the shimmers don't blend well with the mattes, but when I look up here, like, it does. And I like how it's darker here and then it's faded like right here. And so I don't have to do too much blending because we have that gradient already. And so that's going to be it for the lid over there, but we are going to come back to it. I am sweating, y'all. I got a lot of fallout, but you know, let me deal with that later, because yeah, that's another thing, is the fallout. I'm sweating. Whew. Good grief, Charlie Brown. So now we're going to come over. We're going to do this one. Y'all know I want to do this one though. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck now. We're going to do this, and we may put the black on top of it. Also, I wanted to do the middle row last because this texture is really nice and it's really pretty. So that'll probably end up being tear duct for whatever shade I use. But this one is not as flaky as this one. And so I want to do that because I do think that row will be easier to use. And so when we swatch these, they do look different, and they still do look different, which is great. And they're not dupes with Midnight Serenade, because we swatched the reddish tones in here against the reddish tones in that one. This is nice, and you can tell it is a different shade. This is more of a red. This is more of like a berry. Look at me trying to describe colors. I'm not good at describing colors. We're over here. I do like both of these looks. I do say that. I would just have to have time until I figure out if it's going to be easier over a paint pot. We're using the tip of the brush to kind of round this off right here, which is not doing it. So we're going to just take a little more, and we're just going to pat it up here. And I am patting gently. And oh, that's pretty. The shapes are different, and I'm going to say it's okay because these are two different looks. And if we were doing a two-tone look, then I would still want them more the same. And so we're just feathering. Are they almost the same now? Almost. We're going to take a little bit more, and we're just pressing like right there just to get that a little bit more rounded. I am going to take that black and do a oh my gosh, maybe an outer V type thing, or just smoke it out a little bit and not do like an outer V. We're using the tip of the brush to bring this up here, even though we do have, these are nice. I do like this, but I'm still, I need to get my thoughts together. But let me know if you have this palette, what you think of it. What are you thinking of these looks so far? You do have a lot of options with this palette. If you're used to just putting one shimmer on the lid, you have enough mattes in here to do your transition, to do your crease. If you don't want to put black on the lid, you can use that for your upper lash line, and then just pull any one of the shimmers and just put on the lid. So there are a lot of options with this palette. Now we're going to take, I did not tell you, this color is Seance. This color is Rune, R-U-N-E. So that's that one. So now we're going to take Summon, this shade. I was going to tap off, but I missed the palette. And we're just going to put this like right up here. This shade, when I swatched it, was this the palette or was that the other palette? Because we swatched this one and Untamed, where it looked gray on me. And I was just like, I don't think it was this one. I don't know, but I like that there. I like that there. I like it. Okay, I'm being weird. I'm going to use my red Inglot eyeliner, and I think it may be the last time I use it. It's the second time I've had it because it dries out quicker than all the other ones. And so I don't know if I want to keep repurchasing it. And I do have other, I didn't tap off. I started to, but I didn't. I have enough other shades, even though I do really like the red. But, so that eye is done. So for this eye, we're going to take our cane. This one and this one looked exactly the same to me on my skin when we did the swatches. So we're going to tap in and we're going to put this up here. Yeah, I was surprised that they looked the same. And then at first I thought I swatched the same shade twice, because sometimes I do that. I swatched the same shade twice, or I skip a shade and I'm talking about how different it is and I done missed one. And so I did swatch them on my nose next to each other just to be sure I wasn't swatching the same one. And yeah, these two, they look the same on my skin. And this will probably be what I use it for. And maybe also for buffing out lower lash line. But yeah, I was like, these two look exactly the same on me. I am sweating. So what we're going to do now is for our, part of me wants to just leave the lower lash line like it is. And then part of me is like, wants to just put this on lower lash line. Lower lash line we have on Hellbent from MAC, and this is the color of that. And on our inner rims, we have one Stay the Night, which is this shade. So yeah, I think we are going to, you know what? I have 2 more shades to use. We did not use Familiar yet, so I need to put that somewhere. I think we're going to use that to buff out under this lower lash line, and we still have the black to use over here. So we are going to take Amulet. Yo, I am super sweaty. Let me pat this out under here. Woo. We did get hit by snow. I looked out the window. It looks like Winter Wonderland. So later in the day, when it's light outside, I'm going to take a picture and post it. So we're going to take Amulet, and we're going to put that under here. I want to do a black lip, but then I also took out 2 purples to do an ombre lip. And so I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to do, but I do really want to do a black lip. I was looking at some website or something, and they were saying, like, you know, even if you're doing goth or grungy looks, like, you don't always have to use black. I'm like, excuse me, person, black is my favorite lip color. And I do think it adds to a look for me, regardless of what the eyeshadow look looks like. Like, I don't ever think it's boring or like, oh my gosh, a black again. And I know people who are goth and they only wear black lipstick, like, period. That's it. And so I was reading that, like what do they mean? And then I think it depends on what your aesthetic is. Like, if that's your aesthetic, that's your aesthetic. If you're just playing around with different types of looks, then yeah, you might not always want to use a black for your lipstick. But if that's your favorite, like it's my favorite, try not to let an article tell you otherwise. Oh, y'all, that's pretty. I like that. I am, like, seriously sweating. I think my neighbor has his heat turned up really high. So we're going to do that. We're going to put this brush away. Where did we get that from? We are going to use this brush, and we're going to take Familiar, and we're going to put that over here because this is the first column, is the first look. And this shade is good for this, just buffing out, blowing down. I like that. I like that it made it look smoky. Got shadow in my eye. Or somewhere it's a chunk, one of those chunky, flaky shades. You know, and we're going to take a clean one, and we're going to take Arcane and tap that off, and we're going to put that under this eye. And so we're just buffing it out. Not that it needed buffing, but just to add some more depth over here, add a little bit more dimension over here. And yo, I like this look. So with everything I was saying earlier, now I'm like, this is really pretty. And I knew it was going to be. It was just the work aspect part. The brush that had this shade on there, so we're just doing this for no other reason than to just do it. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this black. Shit. We're gonna take this brush. I like these the way they are. I do want darker, I do want smokier. I'm really liking these Natasha Denona concealers. But we're gonna tap straight in. And y'all see I'm like hesitating because this black I don't remember was like a black. But I am still going gently. I probably should have used a thinner brush. One of these brushes might have been good for that. I only have 2 of them and I just used both of them. So we're not going to do that, even though we could just wipe it off and use it. So, oh, that's nice. So we're just going to feather a little bit. Y'all, these shades, like, it's really just sticking like right there. And I'm tempted to just leave it like this. Like, seriously? I like this. I'm going to go in. And we're going to fill it in a little bit. I'm just not feeling. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Let me know what you're thinking of these looks. If you're enjoying this video, thumbs up for me. And if you're not subscribed and you keep coming back, or you think you're going to come back, go ahead and subscribe. I do have a membership also, which is $2.99 a month. And if the perks sound good to you, I would love to have you become an official Trollkin. This is nice. I want to shoot. See, now I'm like, I want to do all sorts of things. We're going to go back with Rune, which was this outer corner shade. And we just put a tiny bit, and we're just going to feather that on top of where we put that black. I do members only posts, members only polls. I do ask members questions. They help guide some of the content that I do. So if you want to have an input on what happens here, that's the way to do that, is to become a member. And let's see. Did I say you get to make requests? You get to make requests. So if there's something particular you would like for me to do. I forgot what brush we used for, I think it might have been this one. We're going to take this shade and we're going to put this back up under the brow again, particularly right here. So I would love to have you join. It's not a lifelong commitment. You can cancel it at any time. But I would love to have you join the channel. I just realized I didn't do the intro. I like that. It's a little messy, but I like it. I like that. Okay. All right, let me calm down. So we use all 5 of these, look number 1, all 5 of these, look number 2, and we also used Amulet on our lower lash line. The black is called Raven, the name of that shadow. So we are going to put on a little bit more. This is the primer and concealer that's left. No, the primer foundation that's left. So we are going to just put this under here, clean this up. We're going to powder down. We are going to put the red on the upper lash line. And mascara, we're going to use the Beyond Mascara. The PAO is approaching this week, so this will be the last time I use that one. But I do have a second one that I'm not going to open right away because we have other foundation. Good grief, girl. Other mascaras that's open to get through. So when we come back, everything will be done. But this is what I thought about doing an ombre lip with. And I do think even just this would be pretty, this dark purple. I do think this will be nice too. It'll just add to, I think, the colorful effect of the shadow. But then y'all know what it's like. So we'll decide that when we come back. Everything will be done. This is our finished look, y'all. And this center shade on this eye, to me, looking in the mirror down here, is creasing. It's not noticeable because my puff covers it up, but looking down here, let me get something to point with. I'm seeing a line like right across here, and that would be this shade right here that is creasing. So I'm not liking that. Everything on this side is fine. But I'm not liking that, but we'll see what happens over Paint Pot. Y'all see, we went with this purple ombre lip. We used dark purple from Sephora collection, and this is 135 Mystic Purple. They do not have number 52 anymore, but I do like the lip with this. I think it does add to it, and this again is what the palette looks like. And so this is look number 1 over here with this first column, and this is look number 2 over here with the third column. And so I do like both the looks. I don't like that this is creasing, and y'all saw the work that I put into it to get it even to show up. So I'm like, why are you doing this to me? But I do like the looks. I'm loving the lip. I am done with this red eyeliner from Inglot. This is number 79. I'm not going to repurchase it because it just dries out way too fast. And it's not even really that expensive, but the principle of the matter. We have one different blush and highlighter on this side than we do on this side. Because I was just go. My freckles are so cute. Sometimes I don't notice them, but like now, look at my little cluster of freckles. That is so cute. I don't know why I'm noticing them today, but I'm like, that is adorable. And yes, I do love freckles, and I love my freckles. So anyway, hang tight, and you will see a look with the middle column coming up right about now. Thank you for continuing to hang out. We are going to do this middle column today, and I'm going to try something different because this is me trying to figure this out. These 2 shades creased all the way across the lid, and when I look back later, this shade had creased as well. This is a beautiful purple shade. This is what I see in person, and I'm just like, what's going on with this? This one is more similar in texture to this one, which are really smooth. The only flaky one in this middle column is this one, which is the same texture as this, and that. I did watch a few other videos. I'm gonna go ahead and prime the eye after I put on some Tillamook. I watched, I think, 3 videos. I got bored really quick because they both were either red looks or purple looks. And they both started the same, with the same transition, the same crease shade. But aside from that, what I was looking for was, how did they use these flaky, creamy shimmer shades? Because they creased on me. And so they just used a brush and just patted it on. And so I started thinking, maybe because I did it like I was doing swatches, and how I put it and, you know, blended it out. Maybe I blended it out too far and that made it too thin, and maybe that's why it creased. And again, I only watched like 3 videos, and none had problems, but then mine's looked good once it was on, but then as time went on, they creased. And the thing with some videos, well, most videos, is like we don't know what happens after the video, you know what I mean? And so I'm gonna do one eye a little different. On one of the videos, she did put the gray on her lid, and she topped it with one of those creamy flaky shades. And so maybe that made a difference. I don't know. One of them did use like a glitter primer, glitter glue, but for me, the Fenty primer is tacky. And you've seen it with this palette where I put the brush there and the shade was just there, and I struggled to blend it out. And so it's not that it's not sticking, excuse me. And so I do want to figure this out, because y'all know I'm lazy with my makeup, and I'm just kind of like, what am I going to do with this palette? Like, who can I ask if they want it, or put it in my Macari store? And I'm like, I only used it twice. Let me just slow my roll. Let me just slow my roll and like really just keep trying. You know what I'm saying? And I think because I was so excited for it, I think that's why it hit me so hard. Like, damn, like this is giving me problems. So we're going to see today, and I do know I need to be more patient. Some of y'all are saying like, girl, you are just, I know. I need to just be more patient, and I am just used to the types of shadows that I can just put on. It goes on, it blends, it doesn't stick, it doesn't have problems. And so when I come across a situation like this, it's a new situation for me. And so I just need to wrap my head around it and keep trying to figure it out. And I do feel like this color story is worth figuring it out. And also because I want to give you guys different looks, because as I said, out of the 3 videos, they used the same transition shade, the same crease shade, the same outer corner shade, and they each just picked one of the different, you know, creamy, flaky shimmers. And so I'm just like, okay, so the looks were either like red or purple or blue, and I'm just like, there's so much more that can be done with this palette. And so the first thing we're going to do, and I'm thinking I should do it last, but we're going to take this and we're going to put this on a tear duct area. This shade is so creamy, and part of me does want to put it on my lid, and this is looking green. Shout out to those, when I ask questions in videos, y'all really be answering, because I'll be like, what color do y'all see? Because I see this, and y'all really be answering. In person, I can see it down here. This is a green. And I am just putting just a little bit at a time. And this is I do want to put this like all over. One day I will. If I can figure out these other shades, I will roll back around and put this on the lid, because this is really pretty. But it's showing up really light. And of course, all the lights I have. And I've been sweating lately when I sit here. And I know it's the light. I'm being careful not to get it in my eye. So I'm just trying to get it right here, and up here. This is really pretty. Let me try this real quick. This is gonna be long, y'all. So look at that. Look at that green. So just hang in here with me, y'all. I mean, feel free to skip, yeah. But I'm just really trying to get myself together. And I do want y'all to see the process. And so if this is something you're thinking about, or you've seen somebody else struggle with it, it's not like, okay, Dion was just tripping. I know I do be tripping. But I'm hoping that this will help someone. Or if you have a similar texture type shadow, or a shadow that you're struggling with, I hope that this does help you. This green is really popping down here. That this will help you. Just to see the struggle, number one, know that you're not alone, and number two, possibly how to fix it. So we're working in this column, so I don't know why I'm looking all over the place. I'm going to take this shade, and this inner corner shade, the tear duct shade, was Hex. This one is Elemental. And so we're just going to take it we're going to put this over here. And this is what they did. So it goes on. And so I think I just needed to not spread it. And this one is not as flaky as the other shades we used yesterday. And for a minute, a couple moments actually, I thought maybe these are just toppers. And it does seem that's kind of what they did, but in a way, yes, and in a way, no. And I say that because if you do your transition and then your crease, you're going to have shadow on your lid anyway. And if you don't cut it with an additional adhesive, you're going to put your lid shades on top of transition and crease shades, whatever, you know, came down onto your mobile lid area. And so I'm not going to say they intentionally layered it, but this one is smoother than the other ones. So I'm not saying they intentionally layered it, but some of it was layered. And so we're just going to leave that. I want to come over further because I want to have this on the majority of the lid. And this shade we're going to put out here. So I do feel good about using this palette because I know I like to use an entire palette when I first get it. I just need to figure that out. We're going to go back with this brush. Actually, we're going to swipe it. And we're going to just swipe over onto that second shade. And I see a piece of this right there. And you know what? I'm going to leave it because, am I going to leave it? I'm just going to leave it. We may do a transition. I don't know. If we do, maybe we'll use this one. We're now going to take this brush. And what I'm going to do is for this eye, I'm going to put this all over the lid. Because I want to see, is it going to make a difference placing the flaky shades on top of this, even though this one is not as flaky as this, and yeah, it's not as flaky as 1, 2, and 3. And so maybe we'll put one on top of it just to see if that does have something to do with it. And also I realized by watching those two videos, I know I kept saying in the first clip that I was going to try this over a paint pot. But then I'm thinking, let me see what it does over these shadows, over this gray. This does give it a really nice base. This reminds me of the gray in the mini Xenon palette. This is a really beautiful gray shade. This could easily be a goth look. Just put this on lower lash line too, put on some black lipstick and eyeliner and mascara and you can be done. Like, this is a nice shade and it blends out very well. And I did tap it first because, say it with me, the Fenty primer for me is a tacky primer. And so I did have to pat first, and then maybe somewhere along the way, I can then just swipe it a little bit. So we're gonna leave that like that. We're gonna take that first brush, we're gonna swipe in again, and we're just gonna bring that over. This shade, y'all. And I know you're not seeing the green I'm seeing down here, but if I remember later, I will turn the light off again. I am sweating. I am sweating. So let me know what your thoughts are like right now with hearing me try to process maybe what my struggle was, or y'all just like, girl, just do the look and shut up. And if so, that's fine. I'm not easily offended. So now we're going to take this same brush and we're going to take this same shade. Excuse me, this was Amulet. I don't know if I said that. We're going to take Elemental, the same one that's here, and we're just going to see what it's going to do. And it still is not swiping over. You know what? Yes, it is just a little bit, but not much. And these are really pretty though, but I'm not giving up. I am committing to not giving up. Dare I say, if this was at Sephora or somewhere, I would be thinking about, am I going to return it? I seldom return anything. If some of you are like, oh my gosh, she just buys stuff and send it back. Yo, I give so much stuff away. I seldom return anything. Or to go on my Macari store. But usually I'm, messaging people that I think might want it and be like, hey, do you want this, such and such? And I do know some people have said in videos, oh yeah, I bought 3 of these to see what shade matches, and the other 2 I'll take them back. And I'm just like, just swatch them in the store, like, or just make it work. But I know people do that, and when I'm watching those videos, I'm thinking they should have kept that to themselves. And I'm I'm not going to say whether or not I feel like it's wasteful, because I know they factor into the cost of stuff like returns and, you know, damaged out goods and stuff like that, but that's just not my life. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now we're going to, I do see a flake, but we'll take care of that later. And the flakes don't come off. They just, I mean, these shadows thick. I got flakes down here. Now, excuse me for that. We're going to take, there's a piece of this shadow down here. And now it's on my shirt. That little speck you see right there. Why am I trying so hard? Y'all see that little speck of light? Yeah, that's that shadow. So now we're going to take this one, which is Occult. This shade. This one, I like the texture just because it's smooth. And so I do want to take one of the flaky shades and put somewhere else. Just to see, just to use it again and see, like, do I just, I don't know. I think I just blended the shades out too much. Excuse me. But if these crease on me, and y'all saw that I did just pat that first shade, so if these still crease, it might just be the formula. And I was also thinking about the Spellcraft Beauty Over the Rainbow palette. It's 6 shades in that palette, and all 6 of them creased on me every time I used it. And so I think it was just that formula. Well, I'm sure it was just that formula. I don't know if it was like that for other people. But for me, and my eye primer creased on every single time I used it. This is very ethereal. It is very pretty. The shades, I can tell they're different shades, but it does end up looking to me just like a multi-chrome across the lid. And so now we're still gonna, I don't want to put this over here in the way. I want to use one of those flaky shades. So we are going to take another one of those Esom brushes, and we're going to take, I think I want to do this one. I think that'll go better with this one, but let's just do it. I just want to see, I'm just trying to figure it out, y'all. And it's looking like much is not coming up on the brush. I don't know, y'all. I do. Okay, here's a commitment I'm making right now. Aside from the looks we're doing today, I am going to do at least two more looks with this palette. The way this one is performing right now, like I'm still not feeling it. But I do want to figure it out because it's really pretty, and I do think it'll look nice layered over top of a shadow, because I was thinking it was going to bring out the color, but it's really not over that smoke gray anyway. So I commit to doing 2 more looks with this palette, and it might just be one eye and one the other. Yeah, I'm struggling. We're gonna take this brush and we're gonna go into this shade. This one, excuse me, y'all, this was Conjure we just used. This one is Incantation. I don't know why I'm struggling so much to remember to say the shades. This one I'm not going to tap off, and it is flaky on the brush, which gives me hope that it's going to go on my lid, and it did. And yeah, we're not going to blend it out too much. Conjure, it didn't pick up much on the brush. This one, the flakes did pick up. Maybe it was the type of brush, because this one was just a regular shader brush, where this one is angled. And so maybe, look at the sweat on my face. You see all these beads of sweat? Oh my gosh, like, what is wrong with me? I'm not feverish anymore. My cold is almost over. I think my cold medicine hit my mailbox today. And it's like, how long have I been sick, y'all? And I am almost better. I can feel it. I'm sleeping a little bit less. I think I slept maybe altogether over the last week and a half. I think I slept like 4 days away, where I went to sleep in the morning and woke up the next morning. Well, woke up to get up the next morning at, like, you know, maybe like 2:30 or 3:30 in the morning. And I only sleep like that, you know, when I am sick. But yeah, there were some days when I woke up on a different day. because usually I go to sleep and wake up on the same day. But yeah, so I am seriously sweating, y'all. What is happening? Like, why? I think my neighbor got his heat turned up downstairs. What's really weird is around 9, 10 in the morning, it gets really, really cold in my apartment. And I think when he goes to work, I think he turns, well, I think his caregivers turn his heat off because it's warmer at like 10 a.m. outside than like 6 a.m. But it'll be nice and warm in here at like 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. I wake up, my teeth are chattering. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But that's just my theory on what's going on down there. We are going to take this brush, and we did use everything except this one. So we're going to take Cauldron. I left the mats in here because I just barely tapped it, y'all. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Are the mats going to be enough for me to keep working with this palette? I like, oh, you know what? We're going to leave that just like that. I like that right there. We're going to feather this over just a little bit. I feel so sweaty. I do have more foundation. So we're just bringing this over just a little bit with the tip of this brush. One of mine, like this one, finally died. So I threw that away yesterday after I washed it. Because when I went to squeeze out the soap and water, the bristles started coming out. I think I have 3 more of these. At least 2 more of these. And so, y'all, I like that. I am a mess. I'm sweaty. So we're going to take this brush and we are just going to tap into Familiar, and we're going to tap this up here. Why am I so sweaty? And you know what? This sweatshirt, it is really thick. It is really thick as well. And so I am glad that I purchased it. That looks dusty. We're going to tap into that also and put that up here. And damn, this is dusty. It didn't look dusty yesterday. I like this though. I like this over here. But I don't like, let me see. We're going to take a little bit of this one. This is just too dusty for me up here. On this side. This side I like it, and I think it's the way this shape is in this outer corner color. So we're going to see, but I think I'm going to put something else up here too, because this, it's not horrible. I just want something else. I want a little bit more of something, and I don't know what. I'm going to take this brush. Part of me is like, just leave it, because it's looking dusty though, but I don't want to leave it because it's looking dusty. We're going to take this brush, and this shade showed up the same on me when I swatched them. So I don't even know what I'm thinking is going to be different right now. That is a little more lavenderish to me, to my eye. So I am sweating. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're going to tap into this one and tap off, and we're just going to just tap that here. I do like that better. I do like that better. I'm going to tap in lightly. We're not tapping off this time, and we're just going to tap, 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 tap. And we are like tapping up to here too. And now we're going to swipe very lightly. And so we're going to see, like, it doesn't look like it's creasing down, but I don't know. So this side is over that gray shadow. This side is just over the primer. I'm hoping it's not just the texture of that shadow that it's always going to crease on me. And the thing is when I searched for videos with this palette, they were all from like 2 months ago when it first launched. Like, and y'all know how it is. The new comes out, we see looks with the new, and then we don't see it again. And so I can't even look to really see, okay, is somebody having problems now that they didn't have when it was first came out? And so I don't know. Y'all, I got beads of sweat. Look at my face. Look at all this sweat. What the hell? I'm trying to think of what I want to eat for dinner. I did take out chicken yesterday and I took out sauce, but they'll both probably be thawed tomorrow. Y'all, what the hell? I feel like I'm having my own little personal summer. We're gonna take this brush and we're gonna take this shade and we're gonna put that under the eye, under here. And I really like how this side came out because of that shape and this color on the outer corner. I'm trying so hard not to make faces. Flake in my eye. Damn it. That's another thing too, y'all. The shadow falls out in flakes. On me, anyway. I'm gonna take that same shade. Yeah. So we've used every shade in here at this point. And hopefully it won't be creased. The other side creased quick though. By the time it took me to finish my face, it had creased. Oh gosh, and this is the dark part. So let me just try to press that up. Okay. So we'll see by the time I finish the face, like, is this going to be creased or not? Okay, something ain't looking quite right. I tapped in really light. And by the time I put on eyeliner, that might fix that. I don't know. So this is the look that we have, y'all. Dare I say I see creasing, but I don't want to get ahead of myself right now. Let me do this before I forget. Let me go ahead and turn out the light. So we're done with the shadows. So this is what we have without the ring light on. Very shiny, very pretty. You see that green on the inner corner? That is gorgeous. But you can only see it from a certain angle. And you see the shades over here. So it is like very, very pretty. I'm not seeing any creasing yet. All right, so we're going to finish the face. And then when we come back, everything is going to be done. This is what we did, y'all. We didn't even do a lip. I didn't put on bronzer or anything like that. I put on Moonlight from Hourglass under the eye and all over. And then I used Eternal Light from Hourglass on my cheeks, the chin, and my forehead. For eyeliner, we used from Lethal Cosmetics Phase. It did not show up much over top of the shadows over here, but it showed up a little bit over here. Did y'all see that, y'all? I turned it and it popped up and hit my lip. Ow, that's gonna leave a mark. I'm not feeling it. And it is flaky. It is flaking down like it did before. Oh, I did set the face with the cashew powder from Fenty with this brush. Even though I did clean up the fallout, you may not see it, but I still see it. The shadow is still falling out onto this area of my face. And so it's messy. And yes, I committed to doing 2 more looks with it. We are going to do 2 more looks with it. But as of right now, in this moment, very pretty. I do like how the colors look over here. I like the shape and the color that we have going on over here. I think it is extremely pretty. Is it worth the trouble? It does look like it's going to crease because this is how it looked yesterday. And I more so patted today than blended out. So I know that that's not it. I do feel like part of it is a me issue because of how I do my makeup. So let me know if you have this palette. Did you have any issues with it? Does it continue to flake, like to fall down onto your face? Does it crease? Do you pat it and blend it, or do you just pat it and not blend it? Because I did a lot of patting today and not blending, and it looks good, it's there, and also it looks more opaque, and I do believe it's because we put the gray underneath it. And so I do like that aspect of it. So it does tell me if I use a paint pot or another shadow base, it will show up darker, even though I do still like the ethereal look, because y'all know I just want to use a shadow for what it is and see what it looks like. I don't want to give it a lot of help at first and amp it up. I just want to see what it's going to do on its own, and on its own it's flaky and it creases. And so I see it starting to crease because it is very shimmery. it's hard to tell, and only if I'm doing this, like raising my eyebrows and looking down, because when I look straight, the crease is hidden. So even like this, you really can't see it when I look down. I have to actually do one of these numbers. But in the event that I do that, it is noticeable to me that it's creasing. So let me know what you think. We didn't even do a lip. That's going to be swollen. I can feel it starting already, like a little bump. So that's what I get for trying to use a lethal liner with lethal shadows. And so again, this is what the palette looks like, and I do like the looks. I'm just struggling. I'm just struggling with it, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Fix my shirt for the picture. Thank you for being here, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts. Stuff is popping up over here for you to watch, and if you have time to hang out, I would love for you to continue hanging out. Subscribe, join, all that good stuff, and you will see me soon. Thanks.